Hey folks, it's Dr. Groovy from GroovyMusicLessons.com. Yeah, today with this axe. I told you I was going to do it, and I've almost got her done. The Groovy Jizzmaster. That's right. Made in my garage. Okay, so I found the neck here in Canada. I got it because of the Groovy block inlays through some Fender tuners I had on something where I'd pulled them off and put locking tuners on something. Typical roller deal going on there. Okay, so the rest of it kind of looks like what you would expect it to be. That's right, it's a Jizzmaster. Okay, I put these Fender 59 pickups. Okay, I had them laying around for about a year, haven't taken them out of the package, thought I'd try them. So whatever the heck these 59s are, pulled them out of there and here they are. Alright, so that's what's in them. And let's see, I put a Wilkinson bridge on it. Whammy deal. The body actually came from, what was it, Guitar Fetish? Or something like that. I wouldn't recommend their bodies, man. They kind of like, if you screw anything down too hard, if you even lay them on something, it'll like make an imprint in it, almost like nitro. The body was relatively cheap, like it was on sale for like 139 bucks, I think. But thought I'd give it a shot. I had to actually route out right here where the 5-way switch goes because it wasn't routed for USA parts, and so therefore I had to make it deeper, which brought it within that much of coming out the back of the axe. Okay, so telly type of deal going on with a switch in the middle. I'll tell you what's going on there. You have regular volume, all 3 pickups are on the same tone, and that guy right there, that just brings your tone on 10, despite where the tone knob is at. Okay, I actually took that whole complete circuit, the jack and all, yeah, out of this guy from when I bought this axe and started working on it. I did a whole bunch of different junk to this with push-pulls and the other stuff going on. Put that back here by my snake. So anyway, so yeah, you can totally turn off the tone knob and go back and forth with the little switch and go from 0 to 10 like that and use it kind of a wah-wah type sound thing, or just simply shut her down on the tone bit, bring it back in without having to change anything at all. Have 2 totally different positions if you like your tone at a different place, and then go to 10. So the pick guard from Guitar Fetish, they did not have in black. If they did, it would have been 15 bucks. But they didn't have it, so I had to buy just a random one for this axe, which was some kind of pearloid white thing, but they did not have a pearloid white thing to match the back. So I said, send me one of each. Send me the pick guard and the back one. So they sent them to me. I sent them to Chandler. I had to put a Stratocaster pick guard over top of the one that the Guitar Fetish people sent me, and the pickups were off. They already had, this as a 3 pickup deal, the pick guard, but compared to a strap, the holes were off. So I can't have that, so I'm actually taped in like 4 places the strap pick guard to that crazy looking mother toilet seat pick guard, taped it to that, and then colored in on that pick guard with Sharpie where the strap pickup should be, and left it on there and wrote him about it and told him about it. 106 bucks for a pick guard by the time I got back. Yeah. Okay, so that's what you got. Groovy looking wallpaper, whatever that is, underneath the finish. And all quality parts everywhere else except I do have the trim floating at the moment. I do realize I have to get in the back and bring part of the claw down because it's actually doing a slight little buckle to the back plate there, which means it's touching it. So we'll see if it will do okay for right now. But yeah, groovy looking axe. I love the double binding. And again, for a Jizzmaster thing, it's groovy. Okay, so it's still a work in progress. Oh yeah, and from our folks, once again, Icon Plates. Those guys, icon-plates.com. Another back plate, the iron cross thing here. That's pretty groovy. Been putting them on all my guitars lately, so that's awesome. So I'll go ahead and plug this thing in. Just play it. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning here. The wife's in bed next thing over, so I'll be sure to crank it right up. Alright? Alright. Okay, so hey, here we are. The switch thing, again, for those of you who didn't quite catch on. Okay, so I've got my tone knob totally off. So it's off now. If I flick the switch up, okay, so I can have any place. I can have it on 5 or whatever and bring it right back into full tone. So anyway, that's not my idea. That's the guy I bought the telly thing from and decided to keep it intact and just swap out and put a 5-way switch in there. Okay, so that's what it'd be like. So you can really do some groovy stuff. Okay, the distortion stuff's kind of cool. It's kind of a cocked wah thing if you want to put your tone in a weird position, or you can just use your wah and cock it. Okay, so there you go, the bridge pickup. Okay, pretty groovy. Okay, we got position 2. The middle. And position 4. I don't know what the hell that is. Okay, so I can tell you right now that the pickups are just simply not quite as twangy as what I would normally do. So I will probably go ahead and just juice these up a little bit on the here it is. On the top end, do that, and I'll do it here too, and I just like me a little bit of a little more on the top end. Let's see how that does up here. Much better. Okay. Okay, 4 position. And 5. Okay, so there you go. I'm digging it. So. Okay, so what else can I tell you? It's parts guitar, and again, the Jizzmaster. It had to be said, had to be done, and so far, hey, I don't see anything wrong with it other than the body just seems, or the finish just seems to be a little soft. You can almost do the thing with a silly putty when you used to copy off comics out of the newspaper and put it in there, and it'll pretty much show up on there. It'll indent. I took the I just put it together, most of it tonight. When I put the neck plate on and I took it back off to do a little shimming of the neck. As soon as I took the plate off, it was already sunk in there, and you could see the shape of the cross and everything. It's like, that's just normal tightness there, but hey, it sure did show up with a few different indentations, as it has just from laying it around on a towel while just doing some work on it. I had it laying on a towel, and it would actually show like the little terry cloth marks. Kind of wacky there, but anyway, so, and the 22 frets, had to have one more fret there, and let's see, gotta do this. Lots of fun, and sounds like a guitar. So, a few more tweaks and get the whammy going right. Yeah, sounds like I need to actually go up and do the nut a little bit. Like I said, I just tossed it together and brought it on here because you guys needed some jizz in your life. All right. Okay, you all have been jizzified. Ooh, gotta love it. I'm digging it and doing all these different axes. And for the people who did not make it to the end of this video, shame on you. Anyway, I had sold a guitar 4 years ago to a young man over in Singapore. So I bought it back from him. I always tell people, it's like, if you ever want to sell my guitar back to me one of these days, get with me, see if I want to buy it back. So I did. And one of my favorite axes from, all my axes are my favorite. All my axes live in Texas. That ain't right, but anyway, my Telecaster, my HMT. Okay, if you remember this one. Okay, beautiful axe with the good old split coil, DiMarzio, the silver lace sensor. It's all stock. Okay, with the 24 frets and the grooviness going on. That is Fender. So if you guys don't remember this, you can check my old videos. I had about 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 of them. Okay, they are clearly, again, made in Japan, as it states. And then Fender came back and they had to put USA on there. Why? Because that's right when Japan was still kicking the USA's ass on these Fender guitars, and they wanted to claim that the USA was making these, so Fender said, hey, send us all those parts, every one of those guitars, blah, 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 and we'll put that plate on there, and everybody will think it's a USA made one. But Japan also kept their made in Japan on there, but US wasn't smart enough to take that off. Go figure. So yeah, this one's back in my possession, and it's actually not nearly as dark as, or nearly not as bright as it looks. It's actually kind of that color, which is awesome. Very much a tobacco sunburst. Okay, so Groovy, it's back. Gotta love it. It was $1,500, $15.95 something to get it back, and $300 something for shipping. But worth it to me. It's the one of these that actually had a Groovy whammy that actually works. So had to have it back. Just always felt bad about selling this one. So hey, there you go. Everybody else checked out a half hour ago, so you got to see that one back. You guys be awesome, and let's see, I gotta work on some songs. I gotta do a band, what do you call those things? I gotta go see if I get hired by a band. An audition, that's what it is. Been so long since I did one. Gotta do one of those today. So gotta run through some songs that I never heard of, but imagine that. Haven't turned on my radio in 20, 30 years. Anyway, later kids. Bye.